David Parker Ray, otherwise known as the Toybox Killer, was born November 6, 1939. In what was a typical case of an abusive household, alcoholic father, bullying in school, and obsession with sadomasochistic tendencies, David Parker Ray was already set up to be one of the true monsters of this world. David Parker Ray was born in Texas, and his father was known to be extremely violent, alcoholic, and often is known to have supplied David with his magazines that fueled his pornographic rage. This rage would carry on to his adulthood, where he would start torturing, kidnapping, and eventually killing his victims in a sadomasochistic way. The manner in which he would kill his victims would take place in something called the Toybox. The Toybox was a soundproof cargo trailer located immediately outside of his home. Inside were numerous sex toys, torture implements, syringes, and detailed diagrams showing ways of inflicting pain. There was also a homemade electrical generator to electrocute his victims. In total, Ray is believed to have spent $100,000 on the trailer, fitting it with sex toys and torture devices. He constructed elaborate contraptions to confine his victims, such as a fur-lined coffin or makeshift pillory. In addition, there were elaborate locks and pulleys to prevent his captives from escaping. It would seem that Ray had put a lot of time, effort, and thought into making his ideal torture box. He is known to have kidnapped 4 or 5 women a year and held them captive for 2 to 3 months. The amount of victims he has claimed is uncertain. Some believe that he raped, murdered, and tortured up to 60 individuals over the course of his life, but they have not been able to locate their remains. Ray kept a diary that detailed what he did to each victim, but did not disclose where he buried their bodies. He did have an accomplice in Sidney Hendy. Ray's fatal victims were dismembered, dumped, and buried in Elephant Butte Lake, or in nearby ravines, according to her. And after his arrest, Ray did agree to show authorities where he would bury his victims, but he died before he could do so, and Hendy was unable to assist in recovering any of the possible bodies. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. What precisely got David Parker Ray caught by the police? Let's find out. It is well believed that David Parker Ray may have gotten cocky, or maybe he thought his toy box was foolproof or escape-proof. But after an escaped victim and other escapees or victims he simply let go came forward to the police, David Parker Ray was eventually arrested and charged with murder. But that was only the beginning. You see, when they discovered what was inside the toy box, it was nightmare-inducing, to say the least. And not just for the police, but to every single person who saw the hundreds and hundreds of photos that were released. I will say, look at your own risk. Eventually, at his trial, he was sentenced to 224 years in prison. For her role in the crime, Cindy was sentenced to 36 years in prison in exchange for testifying against Ray in court. We'll never know how many people he actually killed. We'll never know the extent of what his crime wave was or the depths of his depravity. Only in his diaries will we know the true extent of what he did to them. But unfortunately, with his death, we'll never truly know the amount of victims he claimed in this world. But it is safe to say that the Toybox Killer was a true monster of this world. Now, what I'm about to read for you is very disturbing, so please, if you don't want to, you may end the video here, but I am going to end this video with the tape he would play for each victim. We don't have the actual tape, but I will read the script for you. So please, kick back, relax, and enjoy the chaos and the darkness of what you are about to hear.
Hello there, bitch. Are you comfortable right now? I doubt it. Wrists and ankles chained, gagged, probably blindfolded. You are disoriented and scared too, I would imagine. perfectly normal under the circumstances. For a little while, at least, you'll need to get your shit together and listen to this tape. It's very relevant to your situation. I'm going to tell you in detail why you've been kidnapped and what's going to happen to you and how long you'll be here. I don't know the details of your capture because this tape is being created July 23rd, 1993 as a general advisory tape for future female captives. The information I'm going to give you is based on my experience in dealing with captives over a period of several years. If, at a future date, there are major changes in our procedures, this tape will be upgraded. Now, you are obviously here against your will. Totally helpless. Don't know where you're at. Don't know what's going to happen to you. You're very scared or very pissed off. I'm sure that you've already tried to get your wrists and ankles loose, and you know you can't. Now you're just waiting to see what'll happen next.
I would read more, but unfortunately it would violate the guidelines of YouTube. Even though I'm not monetized yet, I don't want anything to hamper that progress. But I will leave a link to the transcript down below if you wanted to read the whole thing. But just be warned that it's really screwed up. David Parker Ray was a true monster. Far more terrifying than any ghoul that resides in the dark. Just so you know that the person next to you could be one of these monsters. Be safe out there. And join us next time for another episode of True Monsters. Make sure to like and subscribe.